Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on Hit.
Watches it get out of here. Gackle sets and deals. He struck him out swinging. And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Stone's throw or a couple of home runs away from Baum-Walker Stadium where the crowd is gathering. The crowd's been gathering really for the last week. And the line stretching towards 15th Street on Razorback Road. Bright sunshine, little breeze, not too hot. It's a good day to try. Well, I decided to put jeans on today. I didn't want to get my legs are not ready for summer exposure quite yet, Matt.
Man, it is. It's a beautiful day to be out here. What a basketball game last night. You knew the Knicks would come through, and then let's go baseball. How excited. You can feel the atmosphere changing a little bit. The excitement's in the air.
Looks like you got a series in the Eastern Conference at least right now.
Well, they were at home. They were going to win that one. I think Indiana. It's one of those deals where they'll come out and they'll fight. And that's the thing. If they can get it back to New York, but I think Indiana close it out.
Well, I'm sure Oklahoma City wouldn't mind if they play an extra couple of games with the finals beginning on Thursday. And, yeah, it does feel different today. Every round of the NCAA postseason is always going to feel different. Just thinking about what it's like when you're getting into March Madness. I mean, there is that air of finality. Your season can end this weekend. And, hey, the basketball season was a little bit frustrating because of the roller coaster quality to it. So once you got into March Madness, I'm not sure if you knew what you were going to get, but that was a lot of fun to watch once they got in there. Really, it was a lot of fun to watch from the Kentucky game at Rupp to the very end, even with the last game loss in the Sweet 16. But I'll say this baseball team has been so much fun to watch, and it hasn't been a roller coaster either. I mean, they've been near the top from the very beginning of the season, fighting for an SEC championship from the very beginning, a team that was ranked number 1 at one point, I think is ranked 3, 4, or 5 in whatever poll you're looking at. Only poll that matters is the seed you got coming into the tournament, and now I don't think anybody's ready for this season to end. I think part of the question, though, Matt, is nobody me, not you, is ready for this season to end. I think the players feel the same way. And I think Dave Van Horn will give you little pieces of truth in some of the things he'll say about previous seasons where you're really not going to talk about those things that are going on at the moment when it's happening. But he referenced some things kind of behind the scenes with players that may have been looking into the future. I mean, the far future, the Major League Draft, their professional careers, instead of what's right there in front of them, which is an NCAA postseason. And based upon, heck, we had Bubba Carpenter on yesterday, Matt. What did he say these guys are doing? They're either inside the building together in the practice facility, in the Hunt Center, inside the clubhouse, or they're at the pond right next door, Lake Norm, and they're fishing together.
Or they're dipping their pizza in ranch.
Well, the whole thing is I don't think they want this season to end either. I think by the end of a baseball season, there are definitely two ways you can look at it, and it's not always based upon whether or not your win and loss record is what you hope it was, or if you're in the postseason, because some guys are just ready to move on to a pro career because it's right there in front of them. As soon as the draft happens, if they're not drafted, they sign, they go start a pro career. It happens like that. And there may have been some players in previous seasons that may have had that mentality, but I just don't think that that's what this team is.
What do you have to get drafted? Because we talked about this a lot with basketball and where your slot is into what these kids can make by coming back if they're a second rounder. Where do you have to get drafted in Major League Baseball to make more money than what they're making?
Pretty much the top 10 rounds.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You after the top 10 rounds, the most money you can make in any draft slot up to the 20th is $150,000. But, they have a certain amount of draft money they can play around with. And if you're now I wouldn't even say top 10 because normally 9th and 10th round you're looking to save money, so it might even really be 1 through 6.
Yeah.
And part of this too is there's all these measurables that people can go by when it comes to a draft. That's what the combine's about. But this is about competition here, and there's going to be scouts here, just like there were at the SEC tournament. An SEC tournament which doesn't really have meaning in terms of how you remember what your season was like, but the scouts are there because they've got the measurables right there in front of them with 16 teams. All of them have dudes. This here, you come here and you get a chance to see how somebody competes, especially in a regional where you're the favorite, where the pressure is on you in a way that it isn't on the other teams, and even in a game like this today where you're a 4.5-run favorite, and you're usually no more than a 1.5 favorite in a conference game.
You're always being evaluated anytime the tape's rolling. And who are some guys that you think can really up their draft status in a game, like as far as a series like this? If they get hot, it could move them up a couple spots.
Well, I think Gage would a little bit.
Because he was hurt earlier, and so
that's right.
They want to see something about him.
To see, what it's like for him when he's pitching into the 5th and 6th inning.
And they'll be stressful. There'll be some stressful innings. You want to see, it's like a quarterback. You want to see, well, how do they play when they're down 12? How do they play against the blitz? It's easy to when you're the Alabama quarterback and you're beating everybody 42-7.
Well, even in terms of somebody like Logan Maxwell, it's a chance for him to show, because he said all the right things at their press conference yesterday about the hamstring, which has been his main story this year. When it's healthy, he's one of the best hitters in the country. When it's not healthy, well, things are a little bit different. It's a chance for him to show that he can be healthy in games that really matter and go out and do his thing, because this is his last hurrah. This is his last chance. Can Viva Aloy improve his draft stock? Yeah, maybe. I think he's going to be a first-rounder all the way.
I would say we probably know where he's going, yeah.
But this is also where legends get made in this tournament, even in these regionals right here. The last time Arkansas won a regional, the thing everybody remembers is Charlie Welch's home run against Nebraska, which was in a winner-takes-all game. Well, and I mean, that was one of the best moments that I've ever experienced here. That was in a regional. It wasn't in a super. It wasn't in Omaha, and it was in a regional. They have great moments in these weekends.
Paul Skeens, #1 overall pick after they won the national championship. That kid from Florida, did they win the national title that year? That he was the #1 overall pick? Left fielder, right fielder?
Oh, you mean was it Caglin? No, they finished second.
Okay, #1,
and then got to Omaha last year and finished third, if I remember correctly. So, all I know is that this team. It's so odd to think about the way that Dave and the coaches and even I talk about this team compared to the last two, because independent of talent, if you go 20-10 in the SEC. Also considering that the last 2 years those teams did that in the SEC West, which was the toughest division in the toughest college baseball league. So then we look at a team that went 20-10 this year with a schedule that was tough and maybe not quite as difficult as you faced last season and the year before, and we're telling you that this team is better, but they had the same SEC record. And I agree. This team is just better. They have a deeper lineup. They have more power by far. There's a deeper starting rotation, even with the idea that you got starters that aren't necessarily getting into the 6th inning. It's a deeper bullpen of guys that can not just give you 1 inning, but 2 to 3 innings, and maybe a little bit more than that. It's a deeper pen in terms of having righties and lefties that you trust. It's a better lineup in terms of power from both sides of the plate, and it's a better team in the field. All they've got to do is just show that. That's all that's about. And part of that is the belief that you want to be here and you don't want this season to end because all these guys around you are your brothers, and it's the only chance you have to be around this group. This is the last chance they have to do something together and something that everybody's going to remember. And it starts today, and heck, it starts in a little less than 3 hours against North Dakota State, a team that you should beat.
Can you run rule people in this
There
game?
are no run rules in the NCAA postseason.
Okay, yeah.
So you get, keep the pedal to the metal, essentially. It's like last year you got up 8-1, and all of a sudden it's 8-8. The big problem with that last year is that you had a pitcher in Mason Molina that was struggling with command, and even with a 7-run lead, he wasn't able to find the strike zone. I questioned a little bit of Molina's emotional state or mental state at that time of the year. I wonder what it was he was focused on. So now you got a guy today in Aiden Jimenez who, and I look at his numbers here, has walked 7 batters all year in just under 35 innings. You give him an 8-run lead, and you can build an 8-run lead against North Dakota State with this lineup, even though they've got their best pitcher, Summit League Pitcher of the Year, in Nolan Johnson, a guy that's a lefty and probably changes speeds really well. You can build a big lead on him. You got a pitching staff that's not going to walk a bunch of batters. You're not going to need to bring out Gabe Gackle today to pitch in relief. You're saving him for tomorrow against a team that comes in with a much better record, a more talented ball club, and another team that, truthfully, if the Hogs didn't have to play their best today, they could still win. You don't play your best tomorrow, well, now we're talking about something different. Now we're talking about maybe going into the loser's bracket, and you got to hit your way out of it. This team's got everything you need. You just got to go out and show it. All right, we're at the Stadium Shop through 1:30 today. That's when the Learfield pregame show begins. Right over there at Baumwalker. Matt and I are out here. I'm here until 12. Matt will be joined by Ty Richardson from noon until 1:30. We are right here at the front entrance of the Stadium Shop where they've got everything you need for the regional right there inside. Regional T-shirts, bases-loaded beer hats. Saw some really cool posters of many of the Arkansas pitchers, which even includes a signed framed poster of Hagen Smith from last year, but even some of the guys that are going to be, I think, featured roles in this weekend. Dylan Carter, Parker Coyle, they're up there as well. And it's buy one, get one half off. Buy one regular priced item of clothing, you get another of equal or lesser value, half off, and that also includes the hats. All right, just a little bit of time for calls once we go through this first hour. The Lewis Automotive Hotline is 877-377-6963. We'll break. Aaron Torrance joining us in just a moment on halftime.
Exclusive coverage at the Fayetteville Regional, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, Arvest Bank, and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better series than what we got right here.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, back again. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Getting ready for baseball today. Before you head up the hill, stop in here. Got a lot of great deals, including state sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So over 300 pre-owned vehicles out here on the lot. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. If you're looking for something, I've got it. I know a lot of people are going to be driving up to Fayetteville for the game tonight. We've got Super Cruise on some of our new vehicles out here, too, and some of the pre-owned, actually. So if you're wanting to go hands-free, drive all the way to Fayetteville, not have to touch the gas, not have to touch the steering wheel, I mean, it's pretty awesome. You got to come check it out.
And state sales tax paid ends at the end of the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's today and tomorrow's your last days. Come see us. We're going to be here all day today until 7 o'clock and 8:30 to 6 tomorrow. So come see us.
Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, live on ESPN 95.3.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Family, that's what sets us apart. Crabtree RV Center, founded in 1950 by E.J. and Aline Crabtree, family owned and operated, serving Arkansas for 74 years.
I've been working full-time here at Crabtree RV since 1996 after graduating from the University of Arkansas, where I'm proud to carry on my grandparents' legacy.
I know if Mom and Dad could see Crabtree RVs today, They would be so proud.
Crabtree RV Center in Alma, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Come see Cody and the gang on Advanced Mechanical Performance. You can find him at 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Need repair or service for your ATV or UTV? Advanced Mechanical Performance can do it all, as well as taking care of all of your power sports parts accessory needs. Give him a call today at 434-4161. That's 434-4161. Or stop by 3201 Wheeler Avenue. Advanced Mechanical Performance. It's what you should be striving for.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Say to you, girl, there's nothing more sweet in this world than your love. You're all time. I can tell you know I think that you're fine. Bet you know it. Bet you know it. Oh. Bet you know it. Bet you know it. You know it's true.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We're live at the Stadium Shop. Matt Jones to my right. I'm Phil Elson, and hey, Matt, I did a little payback for Aaron Torres the other day. I went on the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. We talked a little college baseball. It's turned into about a once-a-year thing. We're hoping to do it again next week if the Hogs make it through this regional. AT, I'm sure the numbers for your last edition of the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast were just completely off the charts.
I mean, when you bring in the number one college baseball voice in America, how could they not be? In all honesty, one, thank you for your time, Phil. But then two, I'll say this, and something the three of us have talked for the last few years is it's not a sport that I know well. But I'll say this, I actually think it is a sport that, relative to the coverage, I think probably like there's a, what's the right term I'm looking for? Like there's less coverage than there is interest. There's more interest than there is coverage. And I'll give you guys an example. Don't tell anybody. It'll be our little secret. But, you know, I've really been able to make some hay in my career during college hoops transfer portal season because it seems like nobody really cares about covering it, and there is a clear want and desire for information during that time of year. And so, again, don't tell anybody, but I just bring it up because I feel the same way with college baseball. Is it's not my area of expertise, but I know there are a lot of people interested. I mean, right now I have a game on in the house while I'm getting ready to do a quick workout after I chat with you guys. The stadium is packed, and yeah, I just think it's a sport that probably doesn't get enough national coverage or doesn't get the national coverage that it deserves. And so we did our small part to help the cause this week, Bill.
You know, so this tournament begins with the backdrop behind us of these meetings, the SEC meetings, which happen on an annual basis, but these feel a lot different than any of the other meetings. I know Big Ten will be having meetings soon, the other leagues as well. And, man, there's just the tug of war that's going on with different things coming from the coach's side and their desire for 8 games and a 5+11 format, and the athletic directors want something different. The Big Ten is saying, hey, wait a minute, we think the SEC should also be playing 9 games if we're going to do this 4 automatic qualifier, and nobody can really agree on anything right now. And they got to find a way to come together before December, which I'm sure they'll do. It's just, man, we thought college sports was chaotic, but these meetings really are putting it on display. I mean, totally chaotic.
Yeah, I called it this week earlier. I was on in Tuscaloosa. You know how, like, maybe you're dating a young lady and, you go to wine country and you go on a wine tour? I called this week the SEC Wine Tour, WHINE, because it was nothing but whining about literally everything. Kirby Smart's complaining about the transfer portal. Texas is complaining about scheduling. Greg Sankey's complaining about seemingly everything. One, I have a lot of complaints, but what I would just say big picture is I think what stood out to me is not only is there no leadership in college sports, we've known that, but I think the disappointing part, I thought this week really highlighted that literally every entity, whether it's an AD, whether it's a coach, whether it's a commissioner, everybody only cares about what is absolutely best for them in this exact moment right now. And, even something as simple as this, guys, is apparently Ohio State proposed to Texas, hey, why don't we move our season opener to Sunday night? And Texas AD Chris Del Conte came out and said, well, why would we do that? We would have a short week the next week. It's like, well, I looked it up. You're playing San Jose State. Everybody take a deep breath. And to me, that's the perfect metaphor of that would be actually great for the sport of college football and great for the fans. Instead, Texas doesn't want to play one day later, and now we get a noon kickoff, which I'm not going to criticize. Big noon, there's enough criticism of that from the Ohio State fan base. But I just bring it up because I think that's a perfect example of literally everybody is only in it for themselves, and I think it's becoming increasingly clear it's to the detriment of the overall health of college sport.
And what's coming next? If SEC coaches and athletic directors are complaining about this and that, well, then the other conferences, what they end up complaining about is the SEC. Their complaints are that the SEC feels that they are the league that matters more than anybody else. But still, I mean, if we're looking at I guess results or where a lot of the professional players come from, there is some weight to that argument. It's just if you're going to have partners, well, you got to have equal partners in some cases, and that's what the fight is about here. When pro sports, they're all equal partners, they're all equal stakes in the ownership of their association or their league. In this, nobody really feels like an equal partner.
Well, and that's exactly it. And the thing is too, I would say this, and maybe I'm totally wrong. I think, I don't want to say for the most part, but I think the Big 12 and the ACC kind of sort of accept, hey, we're not really on an equal playing field with these teams, or with the SEC and the Big 10. But, I do think, and I'll be curious how much pushback it gets nationally, because, so much of the media is based in the SEC. And let's be honest, most of the most passionate fan bases are SEC fan bases, and they're going to defend the SEC till the death. But, it felt to me this week like Greg Sankey was playing out of a 2016 playbook from the perspective of we're by far the best conference, and we by far should be dictating terms on X, Y, and Z. And I just don't think that's the case anymore. I saw Ari Wasserman from The Athletic. He put out a tweet that resonated with me, which was just very simply is, if you think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden we started paying players and all of a sudden the best teams in the Big Ten are now on equal footing with not only equal footing, they're better than the best teams in the SEC. I don't know the exact paraphrasing of the tweet, but essentially, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is, I think because of the changes to college football, I still think it's exactly what you said, Phil. Listen, the stats bear it out. Most NFL players year over year, and I think, and this isn't like a bold take, but I think one through top to bottom, best to worst, I still think it's the best league in college football. We saw it last year. Kentucky beating Ole Miss, Arkansas beating Tennessee. We saw that on any given night, anybody in the SEC can beat anybody else, and I don't think that's the case in any other conference, including the Big Ten. What I also think is indisputable, the last two national champions have come out of the Big Ten. We had, a playoff where Notre Dame beat the SEC champ, where Ohio State beat the SEC runner-up. And I just think, like I said, I think a lot of this week it felt like Greg Sankey was playing out of a, 2017 handbook. And I just don't think that's the reality of where college football is anymore, 2025, 2026.
Let's leave it there, dude. I appreciate you coming on, and I think Arkansas is going to make it through here. They're going to make it through this regional, so let's hopefully make a date for next week for a little more on NCAA baseball, because if there's not enough coverage, well, there's one way to help fix that.
Absolutely, and I will say, I don't know if people have time to listen before the game, but enjoy the game. Thank you for your time, and good luck to the Hogs. I got no rooting interest besides Central Connecticut and Fairfield right now because my Huskies got screwed, so good luck to the Hogs.
Appreciate you, AT. It's Aaron Torres. You can download the latest Aaron Torres Sports podcast. It features me sitting there with him talking some baseball. What do you got on our friends that are sitting over here in the parking lot? We're live at the Stadium Shop parking lot, and there is a youth baseball team that is made up of players from Oahu and Maui that are big fans of the Aloy brothers and Nolan Souza, and they will definitely stand out because each of them is holding a Hawaiian flag, even a couple of them that are the, if I was told properly, the Kingdom of Hawaii's flag before it was taken over by the United States. And, man, these kids are ready for some baseball, Matt. They look like they'd like the game to start right now.
I'd say advantage Razorbacks. I like it.
I say the exact same thing.
I want to find – next time we talk to AT, I was reading something that they're talking about the NCAA tournament expanding to 76 games, and it's like, why don't you just make it 150 and make it one more game? If you're going to go to this, if you make it one more game, everybody just about gets it. You have to try not to make the tournament, and that's because that's what they're going for.
This also felt to me like the NCAA coming out and almost saying, "Hey, remember we exist. We're still here. There's still something that we do." Because nobody's talking about the NCAA with any sort of. It's not a matter of respect. It's a wonder of is this organization even going to exist in the future? Because that's part of what feels like is being said at times at these SEC meetings, is we are the 800-pound gorilla, and we don't need a cage, which would be the NCAA in that case. So, yeah, that's Charlie Baker almost coming out and saying, hey, guess what? We're still here. There's still something that we do. You remember we do that March Madness thing that everybody seems to love so much, so don't give up on us yet. Or is everybody going to keep loving it? Here's the problem. They're going to add games because the people are going to put them on television.
That's what I mean.
And
so
they're going to
get into 76. It's just one more round. And what is that? What's 76? 150? 152? Something like that. Is that what we're getting to?
I know. The way I guess that you'd show if you don't want that to happen is to not watch the tournament. Because if you don't want more basketball, I mean, you can say I don't want more basketball, but when you keep the ratings for the tournament stay where they are, even in the first round games where you don't know where the school's located, well, they're going to put more of those games on TV. They just will. All right, we'll break here in halftime. We're live at the Stadium Shop. We're here until 1:30. There's a buy one, get one half off inside the store. That includes the hats. If you buy one regular priced item of clothing, you get another for equal or lesser value, half off, and that does include all the hats. And they are parking the cars, so if you're hoping to get a parking spot at the Stadium Shop, you might want to get out here pretty soon with first pitch at 2 o'clock, and airtime is 1:30. You want to get with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline? We're open, 877-377-6963. Back right after this break.
I admire you guys so much. Matt, you're my favorite Arkansas Razorback up there with D-Mac. And Phil, you're the best announcer for college baseball, I think, in the country.
This is halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Don't take less when you can have it all with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box full of craveable faves. The $7 Supreme box for your swankier side. And the $9 Cantina Lux box has a whole world of tasty indulgences, including the slow-roasted Cantina Chicken Burrito. Get Lux for less with the $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Take that all day. I need to sit though. Right. Finally make a putt. What the tap in force?
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at rowback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Woo-hoo!
Check by a jumbo jet. It wasn't easy but nothing else. No.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Live at the Stadium Shop, we continue here. We got Robert from the Stadium Shop out here in the parking lot with us. So right now, are you more merchandisier or parking lot attendant?
Both.
Both at the same time. Can you sell while you park cars?
You betcha. I can do anything.
You just need one of those long trench coats that they hide watches
you want to
inside.
buy a watch?
That's
I know
right.
you ain't got a watch. The Hawaiian tornado is over. That was awesome. those guys from Hawaii.
That was pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was very cool.
I wondered what it was you meant by that for a moment. But yeah, about 16 teenage boys all wearing
925.
The 16 teenage boys of any kind would be defined as a tornado. Come on now.
Well, and they were awesome. They loved it here. They think Arkansas is the bomb. They're going to make some noise. All those flags that we saw when Aloy hits a home run, or if we scored, you're going to see a lot of Hawaiian flags in the hog pen tonight.
See, now it's tough for the flags to stand out inside the hog pen because there's so many of them. These ones will stand out.
These ones, they explained one of them to you, didn't they?
One of them is the flag of the kingdom before Hawaii became a state.
Yeah, it's just awesome that they think enough of us to come by and see us. That's what I'm excited about.
The flag that's more colorful is the one of the kingdom of Hawaii. The one that's red, white, and blue is the one that is Hawaii is a state.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Although they may blend in a little bit if you have an Australian flag for Brett Iredale.
Yeah, well, we need to get some Iredale flags in, don't we? We need to call that the Iredale flag.
If you don't have one yet, it may be a lost opportunity.
Is he's coming back next year?
Well, I mean, who knows? It's all about the draft of whether or not he does.
So, yeah, they didn't buy us out. We got plenty of stuff left. They bought a bunch of the regional shirts, as you would expect, and they bought a bunch of baseball stuff, as you would expect.
Let me ask you this in terms of of how fans spend their money when it comes to merchandise that has the players' names on it, because a lot of times people will say, well, you can't really learn, get close to the players anymore because they may move away, and every team is completely different, and the transfer portal has kind of caused that. But that goes hand in hand with NIL, which goes hand in hand with some of the merchandise you've got in here that has their last names on it.
Hey, I've got some KJ stuff I can't give away. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be tacky.
But that's what I'm getting at here. I mean, you'll get.
You know what?
You could maybe try to give those.
You know what? I'm not afraid of baseball at all. Those guys will play when they're hurt. They're not afraid. They'll be here forever. Baseball is the one sport that I can get behind because I know they'll be here next year because this program is that good. They're not going to transfer out. Usually, I don't know of anybody that's transferred out yet. Do you?
Well, so you do lose a player sometimes that had trouble getting into the lineup, and you wonder what's going to happen to him. That happened with
that happens.
That happened with Mason Neville,
right,
who's the leader in home runs in the nation right
Understood.
now for Oregon. But he had trouble as a freshman. He couldn't crack the starting lineup, and when he did get a chance to play, he didn't really look very good. So I mean that's just going to happen sometimes.
But I only care about one team, and that's Worden Cardinal White or Cream on Sundays.
Cream, yeah.
That and I don't see our guys unless they don't get into play, which getting on the field here is a hard thing to do. Let's face facts. This program is one of the elite programs in college baseball, and getting on the field is hard to do. If you want to get out there quicker, then by all means transfer out. But this program is one. I'm not afraid of baseball NIL is what I'm trying to say.
So that makes people like Will McIntyre and Reese Robinette.
Okay, so Mac is from my hometown.
You're Bryant.
Yeah, Bryant guy. And he came in and we talked about that. Last year he wasn't sure he was coming back. And we talked about it. And I said, dude, we'd love to have you back. And next thing I know, he's coming back. So I don't think I had anything to do with it. But it was great that he's coming back.
Robert that caused Mac
No, I hadn't have anything to do with it. I just had a conversation with him here in the Stadium Shop, 989 South Razorback Road. By the way, he was in here. And, he was unsure what he was going to do. But
I think with Will, what may have happened is that he would just give the game up and move on with his life moving forward.
Yeah, probably will.
I don't think he was going to transfer anywhere else.
Who's the guy that has the heat and air company? Or
that's Charlie Boyce.
Yeah, well, there you go. Charlie Boyce, successful businessman. Good for him.
Heating and Air, that's right.
Absolutely.
Well, and he's hired a bunch of Razorback baseball players too. So there's a lineage that goes along with it.
We take care of our own.
But there's someone like Robinette at first base, and Reese has not even really been in the starting lineup for more than a month.
Yeah.
But he's been a part of the program for 3 years.
And he's one of us now.
But he also could have been one of those guys that would say, I can't get in the lineup here.
Yep.
Even this year, he wasn't going to be able to get into the lineup. And now he's become a really important cog and the guy that you're writing in pen at first base for every game.
Well,
and
Matt,
it's really just been the last month.
Matt, don't you agree?
I think the reason why the Hawaiian, you said that they think it's the bomb. I think the family aspect that you see here when you come here to the University of Arkansas, it's a real family oriented brotherhood. I know you've been to the islands over there, but that's how they treat everybody, and they see the same thing.
Well, like I just said, they take care of their own.
Exactly.
Like we take care of our own.
That's right.
And that's what we're about here with our stores. We take care of our own as well. So
there was always that feeling. I had a couple of guys from Hawaii with the Travelers, and they were exactly the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Takayoshi was our hitting coach for a few years, and he played at the University of Hawaii. And it's almost the same. You see this with Iredale. I saw this. I can't remember the team we're playing, but there's another Australian on that team. And when the game's over, those two guys are meeting behind home plate, shaking hands, talking. I don't know if I don't think they're from the same
There's
city.
a brotherhood there, right?
I think one was from Perth and Brent's from Sydney. And that's opposite ends of the continent. But there's a connection. They're still right there together behind home plate talking because they share something that feels different than anything else here.
Who was the Hawaiian playing football where the guys from Hawaii did that Samoan, it was a dance or something, and it connected. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you're from Arkansas and you're standing in California and you see somebody else with a Razorback shirt, guess what? There's a connection.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
that's happened in Hawaii, by the way.
Yeah. Well, me too. It happened to me too.
After the 2018 College World Series, my parents are right here behind me. They remember this. We're eating at a restaurant on the island of Hawaii, the big island. I got a Razorback hat on. People come up and they start talking Razorback baseball with me. I mean, they were fans.
Yeah. So I'm in Vegas at a trade show. For sporting goods stuff, and I'm wearing my Razorback stuff, and I'm walking down the strip, and I don't know how many people said "Go Hogs" as they pass me. It's connection. I mean, once you're one of us, you're one of us.
That looks like Chris Lanzilli in that car right there. Looks like a rental car
with a Texas plate.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like a rental car. Remember Lanzilli? He was right field for the last Razorback team to go to Omaha
in 2023. 22. Okay, I'm a year off.
Yeah. If you put him on the microphone, you'll be able to tell immediately who he is.
Okay.
Because he's from Massachusetts.
Bradley. Yeah, there you go.
Well, okay,
you
so
put the two of them on the air and walk away and just let them do a segment together.
And you wouldn't understand a word they say. I could tell you stories about Pat. I ran the Hog Heaven store back when Pat was here, and his family used to come in all the time. And to this day, Pat's an awesome person. His family was just and they loved Arkansas. Again, they come from Massachusetts, but yet they adapted to Arkansas. How awesome is that? Is that him? Is it Lanzilli? Yeah, Lanzilli in the house. Chris Lanzilli in the house.
And I knew your face. I remembered that. Absolutely. Guy's coming back because he loves this place.
I know, right? Yeah, I didn't realize that.
You're tailgating, and then you're going to sit in the hog pen and catch home runs?
I am, yeah. I'm going to be all around.
He's going to be all around.
Hit home runs for crying out loud.
I love it.
Good to see you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris, for coming by. See, you never know who you're going to see here, guys.
That's somebody that came here for 1 year. 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's coming back just to watch
a game
and be part of it.
And he's wearing his Razorback gear. That, by the way, I'm sure he bought here. Because now that you said who he is, when you're at a register, you see these people and you don't really remember who they are. But now you say, I remember him being in here before. So, Stadium Shop, 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baum Walker's. I'm looking at the stadium from here, guys. This is awesome. This is what it's all about.
Well, it's addictive. I mean, it's got a little bit of a intoxicating feel, to be honest.
Well, if you're a Razorback fan, this is the time to be here.
Did you see the look on Chris's face when he got out of the car?
Yeah.
He didn't look like drunk or anything, but he looked like he's in Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yes. He would feel that way no matter what if he gets out of the car and it's sunny outside and you're at a baseball park. But I think there was just a little bit more that he felt to it because he was here. I mean, that guy didn't get a chance to play postseason here. He went to Oklahoma City. He went to Stillwater, and then he went to Chapel Hill.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a guy that never experienced postseason
well, here
baseball.
He is. He's back.
You're going to get a chance to experience postseason baseball here now.
I know, but the Oklahoma State one was pretty big.
That was pretty huge. Yeah, Oklahoma State was a lot of fun. That was.
Do you realize how much Oklahoma State looks like the Orioles?
Their park,
Their
or just
Orioles. Their colors and their hats and all that
That's
stuff.
the only thing that Stillwater and Baltimore have in common.
I know, but it's still kind of impressive. I like the O's. I can't help it.
Well, it's they're not doing too well.
Well, I don't care. Brooks Robinson played for the Orioles. That's all that matters.
So you haven't given up on them. Good for you.
Well, no, I'm actually an A's fan, but yeah, I love Brooks Robinson.
Are you an Oakland A's fan or just an A's fan?
Well, now it's going to be Las Vegas A's.
We'll see if that happens.
I think it will.
I'm not. I kind of hope it doesn't, to be honest.
Really?
I really do.
Well, Oakland's not a great place. I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah, I didn't live the way that the ownership and the city kind of didn't work out.
Well, I'm also a Dolphins fan, so what does that tell you?
Maybe you just like, I don't know. What turned you into a Dolphins fan?
Okay, so you got time for me to tell you the story? You better look real
quick.
You
got a minute, sure.
Okay, so in 1971, my grandfather calls me up, and he says, "Who are you rooting for?" And I'm like, I was 10. I was like, I don't know who's playing. He said, "You kidding me? It's a Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins." It's 1971. And I'm like, at 10 years old, or 9, however old I was, I knew then that Dallas was in Texas. Texas is where the Longhorns are, and I'm not rooting for a daggum thing out of Texas. So I rooted for the Dolphins. Well, the Dolphins lost. Dallas did win, but the next year was a really daggum good year to be a Dolphins fan. So, and I'm one of those that I get behind a team, I'm not changing.
Never, huh?
Well, I root for the Chiefs because my son's a Chiefs fan, and I got a bunch of buddies up there at KC. So,
well, we can all get behind the team wearing crimson and white.
Well, the Razorbacks.
Yeah.
Andrew Armstrong's at the Dolphins now. Let's go, Dolphins.
I'll work for that.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely with that.
Well, it is what it is. We are who we are.
Robert, we appreciate you having us out here.
Thanks for having me on.
Heck, I almost feel like I could pay rent for as many times I've been here in the last month.
Well, yeah. Okay, if you want to, I'll take your money. I'm not afraid.
It's the reason I didn't park my car inside your lot today.
Oh, by the way, the Creighton people decided they're not going to. I think they're afraid of us. They decided not to tailgate here.
They didn't want to tailgate here?
No. Oh. So those parking spaces are now open too. So.
All right. So there's a few left. Just pull in and.
I was going to root for them, but now I'm not. Until they play the Cardinal White, I was going to root for them, but now I'm not. So.
Robert, you'll be back later on when Ty's.
One more thing.
Yes.
The regional shirts that are Cardinal have arrived. They are here right now. Matthew is in there right now working on them, so they're out for sale. If you want a regional tee, you better come and get them before they're gone because the Hawaiians took about half of them. I think it was awesome.
Wonder if those kids took some of the sunscreen you have on sale too. Probably.
Yes, and the sunscreen. Good for you to mention that. We have sunscreen, Razorback sunscreen.
Very good. All right, let's break back to wrap up hour number 1 of halftime right after this.
Exclusive coverage at the Fayetteville Regional, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, Arvest Bank, and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better series than what we got right here.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Checking in again at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Brent Durham is here. Big selection of pre-owns. Got sales tax paid through the weekend. Also have the best selection of Buicks and GMCs we've had in a long time, including the Hummer EV. We've got the Buick Envista. Big savings and low payments.
Yeah, I've got 350 cars on this lot. Probably about 200 pre-owned vehicles, the rest in the new side. Ton of Buicks, ton of GMCs. If you're looking for a new car, got as low as 0% on some of these vehicles. A good time to buy. Pretty out. We've got an Ani out here. We're throwing some football. Come by and see us.
You mentioned 0%. We kind of throw that out. But, man, when you stop and think about what 0% means for your pocketbook, it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's right. Just your payment. As soon as you make a payment, all that money, it just goes straight off the principal or the balance of your vehicle. So if you're looking for a good deal, offering that, again, sales tax paid on all pre-owned.
Come see Brent, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
Old Fort Days action begins Memorial Day, and the Old Fort Days official merchandise is ready for you at Jelco Outdoors. Ball caps, t-shirts, koozies, drinkware, and more. Check out the selection of cowboy hats, boots, shirts, and belts. Hot buys on Ariat and Wrangler jeans. Buy 2 pair and get a 3rd pair free, plus a free Old Fort Days rodeo cap with purchase. Go to the Old Fort Days Rodeo in style. Check out the Old Fort Days official merchandise at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
At Wave Rural Connect, our mission's simple: improve the quality of life in our communities. We've expanded to several non-member areas to help new communities. If you live in areas near Altus, Branch, Coxville, Mountainburg, Murray, Spur, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect may be available to you right now. Check availability online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect will continue opening new areas throughout 2025.
Need a new fence but not ready to pay all at once? The Fence Man, serving Fort Smith for over 40 years, offers 18-month financing so you can secure your home or office now and pay over time. Free quotes, custom designs, and the expertise to accomplish what most can't. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, yeah. We chased our pleasures here, dug our treasures there. Can you still recall the time we cried, break on through to the other side?
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Boy, there's a kind of a crazy score right now in a regional game that I'm following in the Conway Regional, hosted by Coastal Carolina. Florida and East Carolina are the 2-3 game. They open up. Florida went with their best pitcher, Liam Peterson. He's been knocked out of the game in the second inning, and Florida trailing East Carolina 4-0 in the second. They did not pitch off. They pitched their dude. They pitched their ace. So not looking good for the Gators, and I think they're coming out of that region, and you can do it with a loss in the first game, but, man, it takes a lot of runs. It takes a lot of offense. One other game's in action as well, and it's North Carolina hosting Holy Cross in the Chapel Hill Regional. Fourth inning, 0-0 the score there. All right, and we're coming up to when Ty's going to be taking over, and I'll walk. Matt, I parked in my usual spot because I didn't want to. I just figured it was an easy walk over to the ballpark where go pick the stuff up. Bubba's got the credential, and go talk with Dave Van Horn for a little bit. I'm just feeling those butterflies too, man. They're really kind of kicking in here.
Let's get it.
Really kind of kicking it. Did you see the football team yesterday at the game times announced for the first 3 this year? 3:15 kickoff, Alabama A&M here in Fayetteville, August the 30th. That'll be on SEC Network.
Paula J's birthday.
be a good way to celebrate with a season opener.
You don't want to go to that game.
I know, that's
scored 10 straight.
Feels like that glorified practice, right?
Yeah.
Arkansas State game is not televised on regular TV. It'll be on one of the pluses, and that's a 4:00 game on the turf at War Memorial Stadium on September the 6th. Yeesh! You want to take a gander at the heat coming off the turf on September the 6th at 4:00 in the afternoon?
It'll be rocking down there in the Rock. You might have to get an IV at the half.
I hear IVs are pretty fun.
I hear they're going around.
I don't know exactly what I would do with it, but it may help that day a little. I was on Chuck and Bo this morning, and they've given War Memorial Stadium the nickname the Air Fryer. I think it's perfect. It's a perfect name for that stadium.
They are so when I worked there for the Buzz, and we'd go do the high school kickoff. They would be out there. You'd kind of go out there, and they got the rubber pellets. It's the worst.
I went out there with the kids when it was the Women's World Cup, and they hosted a little watch party to watch it on the video board. This was the middle of July. I don't even know. I felt bad for. My kids wanted to go do it, but then I thought it was torturous. It was like 150 degrees on the field. We left at halftime. There's no purpose to it. But for that football game, I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun. I want to do a segment in the summer naming stadiums in the SEC after cooking utensils or ways to cook if you get the air fryer. And I've actually come up with one that'd be perfect for LSU. Tiger Stadium is the corn dog cart, of course, because nobody smells like corn dogs like LSU fans. So I don't know which other ones we can drum up. And then 6 or 6:45 for the Ole Miss game, which yesterday when I saw on the schedule, it said 7 or 7:45. So I don't know if maybe they put it incorrectly out there. So 6:45 or 6 o'clock for the Ole Miss game on the road, which means, oh man, they can down a lot of hottie toddies up until 6 o'clock at night.
That's when you kind of start off. It's a long ways away, but wouldn't that be nice to start off 1-0?
Let's start off 1-0 with a win today. I'll talk to everybody at 1:30. Matt, hope you have a great weekend. Be back with you Monday for halftime. See you in it. Enjoy the Three Amigos this weekend. And stay with Matt. Ty Richardson joins him right after the top of the hour break.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at precisiondoornwa.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Hear that? That's the sound of perfection at 46 Steakhouse in Alma. When you're craving a perfectly prepared hand-cut steak, 46 Steakhouse delivers a big flavor with every bite. Every meal starts with their famous hot rolls with honey butter. From burgers and sandwiches to steakhouse salads, there's something for everyone. 46 Steakhouse, located at 108 Highway 71 next to Harps in Alma. 46 Steakhouse, where every meal is a masterpiece.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we're going to cruise through the next 24 hours with some nice, quiet weather. Sunny skies today. A high this afternoon in the mid to upper 70s. Later tonight, a mainly clear sky and overnight low in the mid 50s. Sunshine Saturday, a high will be into the lower 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 92 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
That ain't but one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
All right, back here, halftime, rolling right along. Got a baseball game coming up today. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Hogs play at 2:00. Phil Elson gone to get ready to lead us on to a Razorback victory. Got Ty Richardson sitting beside me. Man, what's up, Ty?
What's up, man? It's like it's very similar to the talent discrepancy we're going to see between Arkansas and North Dakota State today. You had an All-American, and now you got left with no.
I couldn't do this without you, man. That's for sure. We're going to have a good time. And how do you see it going? I guess you did a couple hours of radio earlier. Would y'all kind of touch on everything? Anything y'all? What's kind of the general idea? We go 3-0 and get out of here?
Well, yeah, I mean. Last two years hadn't gone well. People were got the little PTSD from Kansas State and TCU. Got another Big 12 opponent coming in here it's pretty hot in Kansas. Essentially won the Big 12, tied with Big 12, or however you want to frame it. It's kind of a weird deal with the games and the percentages and everything. But Creighton's playing their final games under their head coach, and I mean they should throttle North Dakota State in about an hour or 2 hours from now. I mean, it shouldn't be much of a game, but you never know. I was in there, Matt, watching here at the Stadium Shop on a Razorback, the Florida ECU. ECU's up early, I think 3-0 on the Gators in the Conway Regional where Coastal Carolina is. So sometimes, and that's a 2 versus 3 matchup, but sometimes you just never know. Derek had some good stats this week talking about just how difficult it is to, whether you lose game 1 or you lose game 2 tomorrow, you just want to put yourself in the winner's bracket. I mean, you want to play at 2 o'clock today, and then, Matt, you just want to play primetime the rest of the way at 8 to tomorrow, and then 8 on Sunday potentially as well.
Well, that's a good stat because we're getting ready to go into the NBA Finals, and I believe it's going to be Indiana and Oklahoma City. I think Indiana close it out the next game, but it's 78% of the time the team that wins game 1 ends up winning that series. And so to your point, if we can go ahead and win game 1, and you're just setting yourself up to take advantage and have success.
Yeah, it's a little different. I know that the sports you predominantly played, football and basketball here. I mean, it's that one game. You weren't playing multiple games on a weekend unless it was a tournament setting in the SEC tournament or the NCAA tournament, something like that. But yeah, this is just unique. It's just different than how baseball's set up typically, Matt, because you're used to 3-game series. And I know you have midweek series that you play 1 or 2 games throughout the year, but it's just it's a little different. There's an adjustment period. Again, Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs and the staff going with Aiden Jimenez tonight, getting his second start at least on a weekend here. So we'll see how he goes. If you can give him a couple innings, and then they don't have to go too deep in their bullpen. You just want the offense. Offense didn't look good at all in Hoover against Ole Miss. What's his face? I'm forgetting the kid's name who's starting today for Ole Miss, that had a really good outing against the Razorbacks. But you just kind of want the bats to wake up early, crowd get into it, and then talent should take over from there.
I got to watch the Hogs play Tennessee. I believe it was the last regular season game, and man, we put on a show. Both teams were hitting the ball, but I really liked how Arkansas was putting bat on ball, and that's what Phil talks about, that a regional, sometimes you gotta swing your way through it. You got to hit your way out of it, make sure you can score some runs. I think back to that regional in the Oklahoma State series a few years back, where it seemed like both teams were scoring 10-plus runs each time.
Yeah, offense has hurt you in some closeout games here in recent memory, where again your pitching's felt like they've given you enough to win, except the offense just hadn't come through for you. So hopefully, in this situation, Matt, the offense will be ready to get going.
Oh man, it's exciting. You can feel the atmosphere changing a little bit. The people stopping in, and everybody's excited, man. I'm looking forward to it. And let's go Hogs.
We got a lot of people that have made their way to the Stadium Shop on Razorback in 989 Razorback here, South Razorback Road here, right 200. How many yards from Bob? Have you measured it? No. Okay. Yeah, you need to. We need
3 football fields.
We need a precise measurement from how far it is from.
It's an easy walk.
Yeah. And we got a lot of kiddos that just walked out here as they look like they're making their way to the game. Matt, you don't get a lot of tailgating in basketball, and I know football you have 70,000 versus
well, you have people 12, that just go tailgate and won't even go into the stadium.
But there's always a good contingency. It helps that the parking lot's right next to the stadium. Of course, you can come by and park with Robert, but baseball tailgating is something people love doing here in Fayetteville.
I've never seen anything like it before. We walked in back there at the pig pen a couple Saturdays ago, and they let you bring a cooler of whatever you want in there and let you. It's like, okay.
You experienced the hog pen for the first time?
I walked by it. You could smell it, and it was that was for sure. It definitely had a distinct smell.
It is something, man. It's pretty wild how Rick B stopped by here earlier. There is a number of Hog fans that have come to Arkansas baseball games over the years and just continue to go out to Hog Pen. I feel like each has their own identity of what they do. It's like a particular fan. You always talk about like some of your teammates. They obviously did things well. You talk about your offensive linemen. You talk about the tight ends. You talk about the position players that you play with. Obviously some great defensive guys. And it's almost like a team-like atmosphere out in the Hog Pen too, Matt.
That's pretty cool. Baseball, you kind of, just like in every sport, you kind of have to cover your area, especially defensively, and then take advantage when you can up at the plate. Similar in basketball, you get to play both sides, offense and defense, and then once you kind of get a little more specialized, football gets really specialized. But that's something that you miss, is being on the floor or being out on the field for offense and defense. Giving it your all.
Big C, what are you thinking? What are you feeling about this game today? If you've got some thoughts, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group hotline is open. What are your kind of thoughts later on here about 2 hours, Big C?
Yeah, I know a lot of people are nervous, just kind of how the last 2 years have gone, but and it's normal to feel that way. But as Dave said, this is a much better team, and it's about how Arkansas plays. And I think if they just come out and pitch well, the offense will take care of itself. To me, the big key is limiting a disaster inning and getting yourself behind and not having to come back. And when you do that, you give yourself a huge chance to win. I feel like this team's gonna handle business today, and they're gonna be ready for whoever, Creighton or Kansas, tomorrow. And then that'll set up a regional berth, hopefully. But you got to take it one game at a time. And these guys,
Creighton and Kansas, you think are throwing their number ones? Have we found out?
Man,
I'm going to be honest. I probably need to look into that if they
I would
save
think
their
so.
guys for tomorrow.
There's really no reason to save your ace.
We're not. We're throwing our ace tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I would think Root's going to start tomorrow. Christian, I think you said there might be a caller or two on hold.
Yes.
Is that right? All right, who we got?
We got Eddie from Clarksville, and then Charlie the Tuna.
Okay, let's go Tuna first. Tuna, go ahead, man. We got James T coming up, T Law Firm, in about 5 minutes. James, of course, has been in a situation like this. Charlie, you're up first, man. Go ahead.
Man, you gonna give me the lead off, Ty? Hey, look, I'll handle it. Let me see what I can do here. Ty, by the way, I got to mess with you real quick before I get off here. Phil is letting you in the ballpark today, right? You're allowed. Because he always blames you when they.
I'm not going. I'm staying in studio for this whole weekend. I'll be there next weekend if they.
They need to let that go, Ty. They know good and well you are not jinxing this game. Anyway,
Phil goes. He texted me after the game in Hoover. It's like, this is all your fault. I was just cracking up.
But here's the deal, man. Look, I agree with you guys. Clay said it 3 things the other day. Lay off of borderline pitches. I think don't make mistakes in the field, and lay off of pitches outside of the zone. Basically, what he said. And there was one, pitch well. I don't remember what the third thing was, to be honest with y'all. I forgot. But yeah, that's what you have to do. Do your job. Play your role. I think too. When you go through like the first time. When you're playing now, their pitcher, I don't know how hard he throws, and he's not going to be someone that's going to throw like somebody that we play in the SEC.
Yeah,
so I
DBH
think early on you got
him as Bugs Bunny type of changeup yesterday, which was
so
kind of
you gotta see the ball early. I think at the end of when you go through that first time through the, Bubba always talks about this. Try to take more pitches. As you come up the first time so you can see the ball. And then when you come through that second time, we got to be ready to roll. I understand, you want to get off to a good start, but I think seeing the ball early, figuring out his speed, because these guys throw these, I thought that about SEMO last year, guys. I mean, they throw those 8-mile-an-hour curveballs and change-ups, they're just harder to time those. But, if we execute, we'll be okay today. I'm more worried about tomorrow. So we'll see when we got to get there first. Y'all have a good one.
All right, Charlie, appreciate it. Let's go to Eddie in Clarksville. Eddie, we are an hour and 50 minutes from first pitch. Get us going here at the Stadium Shop.
Yes, sir. That bell is starting to ring even louder. And we got to answer that bell for Mr. Jimenez. Sir, this is your moment in the sun. It's a pretty day for baseball, and you've got the God-given talent in that arm to lead our team to a win victory today. For every player in this lineup, this is also your moment in the sun. You're 32-4 at home. I told them this morning on the morning rush, just in about 35 days, we're going to celebrate our nation's independence. And we're going to go out and celebrate with our families. You say, what's that got to do with today? Well, fix it to you. Because, it's about our nation's independence, about overcoming obstacles. And your obstacle is game 1 today. All that matters is you and the Bison. And they are a worthy opponent, or they wouldn't be there. And remember, even a small boat in the ocean wants to be something greater. And you go out and be greater. Go write your story. Every day in our own personal life, we write a story. And I hope we need to get off and write a great story today, led by Mr. Jimenez in this batting lineup. I like to call it the mojo. I smell it baking. And this fan base is coming from all over the state. They're going to be your flame. So let's go win today. Set up game 2. And you set out all season long. My cup is full, gentlemen. I'll tell you what. You've had a great season. Go write a story today. And let's go on and write a story the whole series. And let's close this thing out at home. And I'm reminded of an old church I attended once. Church not even there. I learned many life lessons, from my mother. And the preacher said there's a time and purpose for everything under heaven. There is a time to win the 2025 Fayetteville Regional. It starts today. Woo! Go feed them the mojo, boys.
I wish he would have been in that locker room for you guys.
I
in
wish I had
football,
that
but
much passion about anything.
I was going to say, geez, Eddie, thank you for the call. I couldn't have said it much better myself, Matt Jones. I don't know what we. I guess we gotta talk to James here coming up. James Teague Law Firm's going to join us. He's been in a situation like this before, not just a regional, but a super regional as well. We'll chat with him again. We're at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Come by and see Robert, Elizabeth, Matthew, and their entire team here. Buy one, get one regular half price clothing item right now. Buy one regular price, get one half off a regular price clothing item, including hats. They've got baseball hats, they've got jerseys, they've got everything you need on their son Razorback related, including the Fayetteville Regional Search here at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. James Teague, T Law Firm, joins us when we return.
Exclusive coverage at the Fayetteville Regional. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Don't take less when you can have it all with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Luxe Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box full of craveable faves. The $7 Supreme box for your swankier side. And the $9 Cantina Luxe box has a whole world of tasty indulgences, including the slow-roasted Cantina Chicken Burrito. Get Luxe for less with the $5, $7, and $9 Luxe Cravings boxes at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Take that all day. I need to sit though. Finally make a putt. What though? Tap in force.
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at rowback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence,
or gutters. Superior Siding is the one to call if you want it done right the first time. Call 479-646-7888 for a free estimate. 100% financing is available, and Superior Siding has AAA rating with Better Business Bureau. Superior Siding, your first call, 479-646-7888.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
It's good vibes coming back, Matt Jones.
Starflyer 59 right there.
Always
little indie group.
I always appreciate your playlist. I would say I would stack up your pop culture, music knowledge, golf knowledge, and soccer knowledge.
It's just eclectic. That doesn't mean it's good.
Oh man! All right, let's talk.
Champions League tomorrow, though. By the way,
who's playing?
PSG and Inter Milan. So there's Super Bowl tomorrow.
Okay,
yeah,
let's go.
2 o'clock.
All right. Let's talk some baseball. James Teague, former Hawk pitcher, Teague Law Firm here with us now. James, let's start with the real stuff. Did your dad stay out late with John Daly last night? He was telling me that the RV was right next to his. Do we have any stories from Rohot Park last night, James?
Well, let's just say I didn't hear any major news. I didn't get a call from any officers or anything crazy, so I assume it didn't get too wild. But if you know him, he brings a lot of energy, and he's not real shy, so I'm sure something happened we'll find out about later.
Oh, man. That was walking in y'all's office yesterday, and he's like, yeah, we're parked right next to JD. I was like, that's awesome. Saw that he was golfing with JD with Cal and Brad and JD Jr. And they went to Herman's last night. So it sounds like a lot of people here this weekend. James, you know what this weekend's like, man. You've been a part of these, not just regional but super regional. I guess initially, what is this first weekend like? You guys were in a different situation, being that like you guys got hot at the tail end, and Missouri State ended up having to come here, even though they were the higher seed, just with the minor league situation. What's it like just in a regional setup when you're traditionally used to a best-of-3 series throughout the year?
I think regionals can be a little tough for a team like this because you're kind of expected to make it to the Super, but you can't look ahead and think, oh, we're going to beat North Dakota State and we're going to roll through this regional, because that's when the big news flashed across when good teams get knocked out. And so I think for this team, it's just a matter of, pitch by pitch, out by out, keep your head down and keep going and don't look too far ahead. And if you kind of stick to the process and do what you're supposed to do, you should advance. Ours was a little different because we weren't as good. And so, getting to the Super was kind of a big deal. It wasn't the expectation that this team's got to deal with.
Did you feel, because you guys were in Stillwater, right? I'm not misremembering that.
Were. Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys feel them clinch up, being the higher seed? Now, Arkansas baseball's got tradition all over the place. Countless World Series appearances. But did you feel in Stillwater, Oklahoma State started to clinch up when you guys got the edge there about 10 years ago?
Yeah, we had, some PFP, some pitcher overthrows, some bad errors, and we kind of squeaked out a couple wins there. And so, that's how a good team loses, is you start looking ahead and you start worrying, and then you don't perform, and then you feel the crowd, you feel the murmurs, and next thing you know, a couple big swings and you're trailing. You got to make up room. And in our series, Oklahoma State just didn't do that. They made some vital mistakes down the stretch. I think if we can avoid that, I think this team's got enough poise and enough veteran leadership to not fall into that trap and take care of business.
James Teague Law Firm with us. He joins halftime every single Friday at 12:15. We'll talk with James a little bit coming up what's going on with Teague Law Firm. James, take us in the mind of a pitcher getting his second weekend start. Adrian Jimenez, Dave Van Horn announced it yesterday. What's that like? And what's going to be key for him on the mound later on here in about an hour and a half?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his stats, I'm looking at the sheet now. He's got 34 innings on the year. He's got 34 Ks and 7 walks. Guys are hitting 258 again. So when I see those numbers, I think of a guy who just kind of screams reliability. Whether you've had the starts or you haven't, you've got a strikeout per inning. You've got about a hit per inning, so you probably don't have plus stuff. But guys are, batting 258. You don't have a lot of walks. So I think for him, it's just a continuation of more of the same. You can afford to give up some hits. You're going to strike out some guys, but we need to get some depth out of him and get some reliability. We don't need we're going to punch out 10 or we're going to get pulled out of the first inning. We don't need that guy. We need the 34 innings, 3 ERA, 34 Ks guy that he's been all year.
What do you think happens after that pitching rotation? I mean, he's got Mack, he's got Gackle, he's got plenty of options. And I guess it kind of tends if they're up or if they're down, but what are you anticipating later on here in Bob Walker post Adrian Jimenez?
Well, if the game's close, we're going to get our best arms. I think that's you got to win game one. And so if the game is close, he's going to go to the hot hand out of the bullpen, whoever he feels that is. If the offense can put together a sizable lead, I think he's going to save some of those back end arms, and so Root and those arms can go game two. But I think that's just going to be depends on how it goes really.
James Teague Law Firm with us. All right, James, it's postseason baseball. You experienced it, and I know Bob Walker Stadium is already an incredible atmosphere that you got to play in. But when you get to this point, like you did, just take us through what it's like to be in something like this as a player.
Yeah, I mean, I think the kind of the gloves come off, so to speak. There's potentially no tomorrow, and so. You got to just ride off of that energy. You got to be prepared that there's going to be some highs and lows, and during the highs, you got to just take it for what it is. Kind of embrace the crowd, embrace that that's why you came to Arkansas, because you're going to have the fans and you're going to have the energy and you're going to have kind of the excitement. And so don't shy away from it, but kind of lean into it. Let it, fuel you. However, depending on if you're that kind of guy or maybe you're more the low key guy, but I think at this point, everyone knows kind of what this program is about. They know what the fan base is about, and they know, am I a hype guy or am I a play it cool guy? And just stick to your strength and keep doing what you've been doing.
James, do Matt Jones here. Hey, does this team need to do anything special? What would you say would be your one key stat to say if we take care of this, we do this, Arkansas advances through this regional?
I think if starting pitching gives us some depth, we're going to get through the regional. I think that the problem that we run into is if we don't have good starting performance, we put pressure on the offense, and when the offense starts to press, maybe they tighten up a little bit and they don't have, the big days that they have. I think when we get some depth out of the starting rotation, whoever it may be, and the offense can be a little bit free, that's when we see them kind of blow up. So if Jimenez can give us some length with, a couple runs or less, and we can get the same from Root, I think the offense is going to come around with the type of arms we're going to be facing. But, it's really more of the same. Nothing changes. You don't have to do anything special. It's the same game, same type of teams, and really lesser teams, to be honest. But just show up, take care of business, and the results take care of themselves.
All right, James, get you out of there with this. You address Zach Root. And Zach is I think an interesting case study because I think a lot of people have said this year, well, you don't have a Hagen Smith, you don't have a Blaine Knight, you don't have a Zayday, you don't have a Connor Nolan, but I mean, this guy was first team All SEC, and it's not like he's chopped liver. I know he didn't have the last two good outings, but he sure looked good against Texas, number one team in the country. Is he a guy that you can confidently rely on, not just tomorrow potentially, but from here on out to be a 6 or 7 inning pitcher?
I think so, because the outings that he's done a little bit more poorly is because he's gotten hit around, not because he's totally lost feel. Yes, he's had some walks and some outings, but for me, when I watch Zach Root, when he's over the top and he's mechanically, he's directionally towards home plate, he's really good. It's when he starts kind of, cliche, but starts pulling off and starts cutting across the fastball and overthrowing, it's where he gets a little bit loose. And so I think for him, don't try to do too much. The numbers are what they are because you're a good pitcher. You don't need to try to go in and do anything extra. And I see the same thing when I look at some of the other guys out of the bullpen, like it's Fouch. When Fouch comes in, this is what I'd say. Throw the first fastball outside off the plate, because when Fouch gets on that high arm side miss, he has a hard time coming off of it. Probably, Matt, you may be able to relate. If you've got a miss, maybe you're with throwing, maybe not, but if it's over and over again, you got to do something different. When Fouch comes in and he's throwing that fastball low and away and he gets on that field early, he is dominant. But we've seen it, we've seen some chin music. We've seen some guys hitting the hands and hit the head potentially. So really those are the key factors for me of know who you are, know what your miss is. If I'm Fouch, I'm going to miss low and away. If I'm Root, I need to get on top of the ball and then build off of that.
All right, before we let go, Matt, so I walked into James' office yesterday. You'll appreciate this. And there's this new shiny trophy up on his mantle.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, hey, what's that? And he's like, oh, we just went down to Hot Springs Village, and we had this, Ryder Cup thing, and me and Teaspoon ended up taking it. So we're talking to
nice.
What's the official title, James?
So it's called Boys Cup because
Boys Cup.
I guess it's called the Men's Cup, but it'll be Boys Cup forever. So we're on year 5. I'm 4-1. And the funny thing is, I'm the worst one of the group by a small margin, but I'm 4-1. So my partner said, he goes, you're kind of like Draymond Green. You're always on the verge of having an absolute meltdown and breaking something, but you kind of show up when I need you. So I said, all right, I'll take it.
Hey, well, listen, however you get a trophy, that's the only thing that matters in that case. Well, James mentioned stopping by your office. I know you guys won Best of the Best, Family Law again. It's not just Family Law that you and Robert and the rest of the team take care of, but you got a lot of things that you can help people out. You don't always want to call a lawyer, but when you need one, you need one, and that's where you, Robert, and the rest of the team come in at Teague Law Firm.
Yeah, the longer I do this, the more it seems as though that it doesn't matter what you're doing, law, baseball, broadcasting, whatever it is, it's all the same stuff. How do you prepare? How do you, do the basic stuff right? Do you get enough sleep? Do you drink enough water? Do you prepare? Are you organized? Do you have your ducks in a row, so to speak? And if you do those things and you follow that process, things will go well. And I think that we're pretty well process-oriented here to be able to handle a high volume of cases, but to still handle, that caseload well, whether that be family law, criminal, or whatever else. I got a jury trial that was set this week. We were able to resolve it. I had one that was last week. And so the wheels, they don't stop turning on the law side, but whatever it may be, I like the work that we're doing here, and I really, really enjoy it.
You can go to teague-law.com. That's teague-law.com, and give James and his dad a call, 479-877-1688. And James, what do we always say about the Teague Law Firm?
Hey, if we can't help, we'll talk baseball.
And hopefully there's a lot of baseball to continue talking into next weekend. James, appreciate it, man. We'll see what happens at the Fayetteville Regional. Hopefully we'll talk in Supers with you next Friday.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Appreciate you guys.
All right, that's, again, James Teague with the Teague Law Firm and everything else. So, Matt, to his point, he was talking about pitching. Like, when you were in a funk back in the day, for whatever reason, you weren't, not necessarily, it's not called hitting your spots in football. You weren't finding your guys. And how would you try to get out of that? Because
you turn around and hand the ball off to Cedric Cobbs and say, let's go, Fred Talley. I kind of equate it, Todd, to when you're going to a golf range, you're about to go play golf, and you get up to the range, and all of a sudden you're kind of hitting a fade with every shot. Or 2 weeks later, you go back to the range before you're going to go play and you're hitting a draw every time. So you're eliminating half the course. So you can't ask players to do things they can't do. So when you go up to and you see, well, this is what I can do, we're going to lean on that. If I'm hitting a fade today, I'm hitting a fade. If I'm hitting a draw, we're hitting a draw. And so you got to go out there with confidence.
Or in my case, a slice, unfortunately.
Same thing, yeah. But you know what you got it.
At least I know where it's going. All right, we're live here at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. More calls and texts to get to here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. All of our coverage this week at the Fayetteville Regional has been presented by Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley, our best bank, and, of course, here at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Still about an hour left here for halftime at Arkansas game day. More of your calls and texts coming up next.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
This is halftime.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BREAK to 321-321. That's BREAK to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Kind of like, well, what are you going to wear? And I was kind of looked at Clay. I was like, kind of what Clay has on right now.
This is halftime. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Back again, Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Seth Hill is here. Great selection of pre-owns with state sales tax paid, but I want to talk about new Buicks and new GMCs. You got low payments, you got a great selection, and financing as low as 0%.
Absolutely. There ain't a whole lot more to say about that. I mean, 0% financing on anything is a great deal. I got a huge selection of trucks and new SUVs, just like you said, from the Buick Envistas to the Envisions, the Enclaves. Just a great selection out here of some beautiful cars.
Also been, y'all been talking about the Hummer EV for around $900 a month.
Absolutely. Hey, that's a great deal. A few of the guys here, including myself, we have these EVs out here. Great deal on those trucks. An awesome truck, $100,000 truck you can get into for a real low payment. It's a very, very nice deal.
Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. We're live on ESPN 95.3.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
It's almost summertime. That means barbecues, graduations, weddings, and gathering with friends. River Point Wine and Spirits has all your favorite party supplies. You'll love our clean, organized store, full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I was out of your league, and you were 20,000 underneath the sea, waving affections. You were out of my league, at a distance that I didn't wanna see, down to the bottom.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we're back here at the Stadium Shop on Razorback starting. People really starting to file in here as we get ready. About an hour and a half until this upcoming Fayetteville Regional between Arkansas and North Dakota State. Now, Robert's been chomping at the bit here to ask Matt a question. So
I want to ask a question as a fan, okay, not as a business owner or anything. So Keith Kidd played here, I don't know, back in Kenny Hatfield and Lou Holtz. And I've asked him this question. And the same thing with my all-time favorite Razorback, which was Ike Forte, which was way before your time.
Played against his son, Ty Forte, at J. Fair. Yeah, he was on that Cedric Cobb's team that won a state championship.
Really?
Yep.
Well, Ike is... I remember when he played here, and it was him and Joe Ferguson, and man, that was an awesome team. How does it... I'm going to ask you this. I'm purely a fan. When you're on the field, I've been on the field before, and I've seen us score touchdowns, and I've heard that roar, and I know what that feels like. But when you're the guy, when you run it in for a touchdown, or you throw it for a touchdown, like the Miracle on Markham or whatever, how does that feel? I mean, from you... What goes through your mind when you score a touchdown?
It's a team sport, and you're together all year. And I know now there's a transfer portal, and you might hop around or something. But back then, it seemed like you came in with a group of guys, and you practiced, you worked out, and you kind of had the same group for a couple years, and you just don't want to let your teammates down. You want to make sure you're prepared. You want to make sure you know what the play is. You want to make sure you get the right read. And then when you do have success, then you look at the scoreboard, and if we're winning, that's good. And if it's not, there's still work to do. It's almost not until the game's over, until that final whistle blows, you can't really get too high or get too low. You kind of got to keep it an even kill.
It's pretty cool, though, isn't it? I mean, it's got to be a cool feeling. Every kid like myself grew up. Some of us just don't have the athletic ability. And we dream about what it would be like to be a quarterback.
It's two of the three radio.
I mean, Arkansas Razorback fans are some of the best fans in the world. You just talked about when y'all were in Hawaii or Colorado or Las Vegas that everybody's hey, we'll go Woo Pig Sue or go Hogs, and it really is. It's something special. That's their pro team, and I mean it's the Arkansas Razorbacks, and we have some of the best fans in the world.
Well, it's just got to be cool to hear that the stadium just roar. And you know that you and your teammates have done something special.
That's one of the things that I always want to keep all the in-state kids that you can. We got one of my favorite teammates ever was Sean Andrews, and the basketball team just signed his boy.
JJ.
And the thing is, you're getting a good dude. Like, he's been raised right. He's going to be a good kid. But I love it when you keep the kids in-state. Now, if they're talented enough and they can play, let's get them. But I don't like it when the kids are talented enough and they get out of state.
Matt, not to get on football tangent, Ryan Hot Springs, we'll get to in just one sec, but you mentioned Little Rock. I mean, you play with a lot of guys from Central Arkansas that are studs.
Well, Houston, that's a Little Rock guy.
And it's just it's gone by the unfortunately it's gone by the wayside a little bit in high school recruiting. There's still a lot of talented basketball players at Little Rock, but you're just not getting the same talent out of the Little Rock area for high school football at all. Not even close to 20 years ago, or even 15 for that.
What is Bryant won a couple state titles. Did Parkview just win one?
Yeah.
I think of guys like Dedrick Poole, who came out of there. You had Joe Johnson, who's a little bit before Cedric Cobbs. That if it wasn't for injuries, turf toe, that dude was good enough to play on Sundays and to play well. And so you're glad to see the NIL now for people like that. There's a lot of kids that when they come to college, they're talented enough to make it to the next level, but they get injured, and then that kind of derails them. So at least they're able to make a little bit of money now.
All right, we're running up on a break, but let's take Ryan's call real quick. He's calling from Hot Springs here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Again, we're live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Ryan, good afternoon.
Hey, good, buddy. I was gonna say this. I'll be going to the cafe again tomorrow. I'm gonna have round 2, which I'm expecting to be really good. But the part reason why I called, you was kind of getting on the fans about Zach Root or whatever, and how he's not chopped liver. But then you turned around and was like, well, he didn't have that good an outing, but yet, he got us into place to do the doubles, and we should have had 2 different doubles to get out of the inning and not give up 5 runs. And the thing that I'm more worried about is it's not the first time this has happened this season where he's pitched pretty good, but the infield has kind of let him down. And I'm more worried about that than I am his mechanics or.
And that's not typical of a Dave Van Horn team. The fielding, and I need to put myself in that. That's not Brian. If it was a shot at fans, I did not intend it to be, because I've just been as guilty on talking about this team not having an alpha starting pitching, and you look up this kid's first team All SEC. So I'll put myself in that camp just as much as anyone else. I don't know if I've given Zach Root enough credit. By the way, I mean, kid came over from ECU, which is they were beating the tail of the tar out of Florida. I don't know if they still are, but a little difference going from there to the SEC, and he's done I think he's done more than just a stand-up job in year 1.
I agree, and I knew what you meant. I just want to reiterate that because at the end of the SEC tournament game, everybody kind of he had a poor performance, and he really didn't. He got us a chance to get 2 different doubles. Didn't happen. I get he was frustrated and gave up that 3-run home run, but at the end of the day, he did come back after giving up the home run and completely shut down the side until they pulled him. So I felt like in the situation he was put in, he was kind of lights out. If you really, when your infield gives up what should have been 4 outs, and extended that inning for Ole Miss, that's and that's again not typical for this team. Now, I do know we did it against Ole Miss, but I think there was some weather that kind of was behind that, where we hit some infield flies that were getting knocked down, our guys couldn't get to them. Some of that happened, but I want to say though, Zach Root has been I would say underrated a little bit this year as a Hog starting pitcher.
Yeah, I think so. And he has a chance. And I said the same thing, hadn't it? Like, he didn't have it was kind of like against the Texas game. It's like, all right, you're playing the number 1 team in the country. This is your hated rival. This kid hadn't had a last couple good outings. What's he going to do? And he has his best pitching performance of his Razorback career in college baseball career. I'm not going to say he's necessarily going to have that tomorrow, but you hope. It's like he's not a bat. I don't know. I wouldn't characterize his back against the wall, but you mentioned you kind of laid out the Ole Miss, and then the Tennessee start didn't necessarily go how he or anyone else wanted it to. But now, you're kind of in a situation where, hey, it's all eyes on you, man. Go make a play or go make some plays, make some pitches, and see what happens. All right, Ryan, appreciate the call again. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We still got more to react to. Neil Atkinson, Bet Saracen is going to join halftime coming up in just a bit. If you got a thought for Matt, myself, or Big C, jump in here at 877-377-6963. One more segment, hour 2 of halftime, coming up next.
Exclusive coverage at the Fayetteville Regional, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, Arvest Bank, and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley.
You couldn't ask for a better series than what we got right here.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Checking in again at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Brent Durham is here. Big selection of pre-owns. Got sales tax paid through the weekend. Also have the best selection of Buicks and GMCs we've had in a long time, including the Hummer EV. We've got the Buick Envista. Big savings and low payments.
Yeah, I've got 350 cars on this lot. Probably about 200 pre-owned vehicles, the rest in the new side. Ton of Buicks, ton of GMCs. If you're looking for a new car, got as low as 0% on some of these vehicles. A good time to buy. Pretty out. We've got Ani out here. We're throwing some football. Come by and see us.
You mentioned 0%. We kind of throw that out, but man, when you stop and think about what 0% means for your pocketbook, it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's right. Just your payment. As soon as you make a payment, all that money, it just goes straight off the principal or the balance of your vehicle. So if you're looking for a good deal, offering that, again, sales tax paid on all pre-owned.
Come see Brent, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Young Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky Rigging, the 5-inch model, can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Hungry for a meal that's more than just food? At 46 Steakhouse in Alma, Adam and Brooke Daly are serving up tradition with every bite. Hand-cut steaks, including their massive 46-ounce ribeye, juicy chicken, and hand-breaded catfish. Plus, every meal comes with those famous hot rolls and honey butter that folks cannot stop talking about. At 46 Steakhouse, they're ready to make your family feel right at home. 46 Steakhouse, 108 Highway 71 next to Harps in Alma. 46 Steakhouse, where every meal is a masterpiece.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, no win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
It's Kubota Orange Days at Gray Brothers Equipment with interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months and reduced pricing on all Kubota inventory. It's time for your new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 6/30/25, see Gray Brothers Equipment or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Ford's Grid Incorporated, a company known for paying top wages and benefits, has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. For nearly 90 years, Ford's Grid has built the foundations of the River Valley, and now you can become a part of that legacy. Apply now from any device at GoForestGrid.com. That's GoForestGrid.com. Do you finally want to get paid well for your work? Do you want to work for a company that treats you like family? Apply now at GoForestGrid.com. Forest Grid Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
I was on fire. Where did you go? I couldn't doubt it. How could you not know? I was around you. You brought in the was I feeling that you wish I never met you? Starting to regret you. My heart just dropped.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, final segment of the hour here on Halftime as we're live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Chris in Springdale, Matt, says that he appreciates your playlist each and every time. So I don't know, where do you come up with this? It's just all memory?
Chris came by. We were doing a show at Swift Jewelers, I believe, over there, and he came by and saw Phil and I, and got me a Doors album, some vinyl.
Look at that.
And then I forget what he got. What he got, Phil, but bought us a couple of records. It's super cool, super cool.
Christian, who do we remind me who we have in studio of the that gave us some albums and the posters?
Cabbage Head and the Screaming Radishes.
Yeah, I would say the playlists that are on Halftime, it's all over the place. Like you can go anywhere.
I heard a bit going into a Chuck and Bo thing on the commercial. They had some Tame Impala going into it briefly, if you hear it. So I thought maybe you had something to do with that. I don't know, yeah.
It is. It seems so. Whatever your music taste, you're probably going to find it here on ESPN Arkansas. What is the
Maybe
Robert-
even some Pat Travers.
Yeah, there you go.
As Robert Mann rejoins us here at the Stadium Shop on Razorback, what music do you listen to getting ready for game day?
Pat Travers, Jerry Riggs, Journey, Styx. You know, I'm an old school guy. I'm an old guy. I'm a very old guy. And there's a lot of stuff that, you know, nobody has ever heard of that I'm into. So
Well, it's just, I mean, in my case, and I trust me, I need to widen my horizons. I need to actually listen and learn, not just when it comes to pop culture stuff, but anything else. How many spots we got left? I look up 10 minutes ago when we had a decent. Now they're how many spots?
Man,
we
it
got
pulled
left,
up
huh?
quick.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about parking?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're filling up in a hurry.
So-
if you're needing a place to park, you better get here in a hurry because we're probably 10 or 15 shy of being full.
Okay. Well, just to reiterate this, if you are coming to get something here at the Stadium Shop on Razorback, they do have reserved parking for those that are actually getting something here. Don't want to deter
Yeah,
anyone
you can
from
still
shopping.
get no. If
Yeah.
you need to come and shop, we'll get you in.
Yep.
No matter what, we'll get you in. If you need a jersey or a hat, or because today the sun's out, you're going to need Razorback sunscreen. You're going to need a hat. Yeah, we got you covered. Just come on by. We'll get you in no matter what.
I was going to say, you've always got it's golfing weather, Matt. He's got a
Mhm.
good selection of bucket hats. He's got one right here. We got the baseball caps. I mean, it's Hawaiian season. It's bucket hat season.
Yeah, this
too.
one's old. This one's very, very
And
old.
the light skin, it's like a light material long sleeve shirt to keep the sun off of
Yep.
you as well.
Yep,
You
we
wear-
got that.
You got it all. What is the? I mean, this is you might have to kind of think about this. What's the oddest thing you think you have in your store?
The weirdest thing?
Yeah, just kind of the.
Oh, Lord.
That's sellable.
A Lou Holtz doll? Does that count?
Is that might be up there?
You see the Dan Patrick show? You ever watch that?
Yeah, and
show?
he's got one.
He's got a Lou Holtz.
Yeah.
Does he
doll
really?
set.
Yeah, I've got a few for sale in here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
He's got the weird pants, right?
Yep.
In
Yep. The
with
red. I don't know what you call that, herringbone or whatever
your boy, Coach Cal. He has the jacket, the houndstooth.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got,
Okay.
he's got one just like it.
Yeah, and I've even got a few Musselman bobbleheads left.
Okay.
They're heavy. They're reliable. If it doesn't work, you can always hit them with it.
They work as a target practice.
What about sticks? We've got.
What about sticks?
We're asking about. We're getting a text about sticks for you guys. Are you guys Sticks fans?
I am.
Oh, is that that's like Journey in Boston? Is
Yeah,
that be
Styx.
Yeah.
First concert I ever went to was in 1979. It was to see Styx on the No, it was the Pieces of 8 tour.
How cool.
And yeah, that was my first concert.
I like
was
Chicago. Would Chicago
oh,
be in that
hey,
group?
I saw Chicago with Earth, Wind, and Fire on one tour. That was
Nice. I
freaking
bet that was
amazing.
cool, yeah.
I would say
Oh
that-
my God, that was amazing.
That has to be a pretty good collection. Again, it is buy one get one regular price clothing, including hats, half off right now.
Including
Robert,
jerseys, too.
and jerseys too. So come take advantage of that. The Stadium Shop on Razorback. And when I say a mere 2 or 3 minutes from Bob Walker, I'm not kidding. Like you can see
the
we need-
stadium from
Your
here.
next responsibility and job is to measure exactly.
All right, I'll figure it out.
How close it is to Bob Walker Stadium here.
You want me to time it, or you want me to count the steps?
I want to count the steps. I want to see how long,
Okay.
or actually how far distance-wise it actually is. All right, coming up, we've got kind of a pseudo halftime Arkansas game day. 30 more minutes before Phil and Bubba coming up next.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
At Wave Rural Connect, our mission's simple: improve the quality of life in our communities. We've expanded to several non-member areas to help new communities. If you live in areas near Altus, Branch, Coxville, Mountainburg, Murray, Spur, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect may be available to you right now. Check availability online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect will continue opening new areas throughout 2025.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we're going to cruise through the next 24 hours with some nice, quiet weather. Sunny skies today, a high this afternoon in the mid to upper 70s. Later tonight, a mainly clear sky and overnight low in the mid 50s. Sunshine Saturday, a high will be into the lower 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 92 days.
Brady stands in from the left side. The pitch is coming. Swinging a fly ball to left field. Hit pretty well. Going back is Napolitan. That ball's gone! That's a grand slam home run! Brady Toops just hit a grand slam home run!
It's not easy to get to a regional. I know that there's teams that do it a lot, seem to do it every year, but you still have to fight your way through it. And everybody has a different road. Feel good where we are right now and really glad to be at home.
It's Arkansas Game Day on ESPN Arkansas, brought to you by Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley, helping you make sure you get the right coverage at the right price. Arvest Bank. Since 1961, Arvest Bank has been committed to its local communities. Arvest is ready to help. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Arkansas Game Day is also presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Get game day ready at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Regional tees, jerseys, and bases loaded hats. 989 Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium.
The 2-0 to Charlie Welch. Swung on and belted. Way back to left field. You gotta get out of here. Go crazy at Baum Walker. Go nuts.
Does he have it?
There's your regional. The Razorbacks are moving on to the Supers. Spearheads. Oh no! Battles deep into the night. It's left the stadium entirely.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
Man, that Jalen Battles grand slam against Oklahoma State 3 years ago was something, as was the Brady Toops one. Oh, man, there's been some good memories here in the regionals, whether in Fayetteville or elsewhere. Hey, welcome in 30 minutes of Arkansas Game Day, live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback alongside Matt Jones and Christian Johnson. I'm Ty Richardson, keeping you here for the next 30 minutes before we head the microphones off to our friends Phil Elson and Bubba Carpenter. And Phil's got the whole crew in this weekend, Matt. His dad, his mom.
Sweet people. Sweet.
It's first time.
How did Phil end up like how he ended up with those sweet parents?
It's all they listen. Sometimes the apple falls far from the tree, and in this case, I could just guess it did.
I heard they stick nicotine in the apples.
All right, Big C. We still got a few callers like William and a few others as well.
Yes, we do.
All right. Let's talk to William. William's called in from Lafayette, Louisiana this morning. William, you are now on Arkansas Game Day. Fire away.
I guess William's not there anymore.
All right, let's go to who's the next one we got, Big C?
Got Hog Noxious.
Hey, Bobby, what's going on, man?
You there, Hog Noxious?
0 for 2. All right, door number 3. Who's door number 3, Big C?
Hunter and Rogers.
All right, Hunter. Please be there.
Something's going on.
All right, maybe reset the phones, Big C. We can get some. We'll try and it's probably my fault. I'll take blame for that. If you want to give us a call, you can do so at 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Matt, Robert was asking you something earlier about just that celebration, that moment. We had James Teague on a little while ago. We're going to talk to Neil Atkinson with Bet Saracen coming up in just one bit. You've been a part of postseason, SEC tournaments in basketball, SEC championship in football. What is it? What's different about it? I mean, there's some high octane, crazy games in the SEC just regular season, but what's different about postseason?
Well, to quote your favorite movie, Spinal Tap, you have to turn it up to 11. Your attention to detail, and this is something James Teague was talking about, is like, are you drinking enough water? Do you know your assignment? Do you know the game plan? Do you know what our first 2-point conversion play is going to be? Do you know what our first, are you ready to go? Are you focused up? Because when it ends, Ty, at this point, it ends really quick and it's over. So you want to be focused up and you want to keep playing. And I think for this group, there's a lot of baseball left that this team wants to play.
You played with some guys that you got there freshman year and that you knew through senior year. Matt, a lot of these guys, they're basically with each other 9 to 12 months, and then they'll go off to the minors or go off and do something else. But it's just a different dynamic nowadays. What do you think that plays into a weekend like this, knowing that they might not see these guys for a while?
Well, you're always being evaluated when the film's rolling, and the camera will be on here in a couple hours on this team. And a lot of these guys, it's just it's a great time to be a college athlete. They'll make more money playing college athletics than they ever will in their life, and the opportunity they have is pretty cool. I would be petitioning the NCAA to stay in for 12 years. These kids are just staying 4 or 5, whatever they're staying. I would try to be a college athlete as long as I can. What a great time to be a college athlete in the NIL.
Zakai Ziegler, I guess, trying to get another
Dude, he's
year.
a top. If he comes back, even if he doesn't go to Tennessee, he's a top 5 point guard of all of college basketball next year. I think, no question about it. That doesn't mean that he's not very good because he can't play in the NBA. It's just because he wasn't touched by the hand of God to be a pterodactyl. It's like you're looking at Boogie Flan. You're like, what team? Who's going to be? Tell me how many times you see a 6-foot point guard taking a team to the NBA final. You don't see it.
Doesn't happen very often. All right, let's try this again. Back to the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Bobby Hog Noxious has called in. You there this time, Hog Noxious?
Yes, I am. Thanks,
What's up,
Tom,
man?
for disconnecting everybody.
Listen, when something goes wrong at this radio station, odds are it's probably my fault, just to be honest.
Well, odds are we're going to blame you anyway. Since the institution of baseball as a sport at the University of Arkansas, if I was going to have to coach a team to beat the Razorback in one game, I would tell my fireball pitcher who hits 100 on the radar gun to sit down. I'm going to try to find me a left-hander that can throw a curveball for a strike, because that's how you beat the Hog. And it seems like that all the time. And that's exactly what we're facing in this first game. Now, granted, North Dakota State University hasn't got the firepower of the teams that we have been playing. They are a midweek game. Phil has pegged that exactly right. But everybody who's in postseason has one guy that knows how to pitch and knows how to win a game. And the crafty left-hander who can throw a curveball for a strike is North Dakota State's #1 pitcher, and that conference's pitcher of the year. So I still think we're going to hit plenty enough to win, I still think we handle this first game, but it's going to be a fight. And luckily, those best pitchers for Kansas and Creighton are both having to face each other today.
We score more than 4. You think we win this first game? Is that a good number? You feel 6? Is that all we got to put up? You think?
6. I'll go with 6.
Okay.
I'm not sure 4 will do it because you never know what this umpire strike zone's going to be. These guys get to do the postseason games, and a lot of times they come in and they go, okay, I'm going to make the strike zone about the size of a pie plate. And if you can't hit it, I'm not going to call it a strike. And that's the reason Jimenez is starting pitching. He is the most consistent midweek starter type of guy that can pound the strike zone. Because that's what he does best, is throw strikes. And some of our other pitchers, if the umpire won't call them strikes, they get a little bit missed and a little bit off their game. And I think starting Jimenez is exactly the right thing to do for today's game. And then we'll get after it in the championship game tomorrow night and get ready to win this regional, baby.
There we go. Good call, Hognoxious. Again, 877-377-6963. For those that don't know, you just heard Bobby just say it right there. Aiden Jimenez getting the start today here in about 50 minutes from now. That's who Dave Van Horn, Matt Hobbs, and the staff have elected to go with later on today. I'm going to guess that Zach Root goes in Game 2 tomorrow. Maybe you'll see Gage Wood, but I'm going to guess that Root is the guy tomorrow. All right, when we return, we've got Neil Atkinson to talk to, a little Bet Saracen. I know there's a lot of bets right now on the Bet Saracen app that you can take advantage of, not just with Arkansas baseball, but all these different games going on. You got the Knicks and Pacers tomorrow night. So we'll get into that with Neil Atkinson. Again, we are live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Still a few more parking spots if you want to take advantage of 989 South Razorback Road. And, of course, buy one, get one regular price clothing item half off. Buy one regular price, get the other one half off. All jerseys, all hats, half off that second item if you come by and see Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt and the Stadium Shop on Razorback. One more segment of Arkansas Game Day when we come back.
Sits on the breaking ball and drills it to left field. It is.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day, sponsored by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley, and by Our Best Bank.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth.
And we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, where's Matt?
Beer hats here. Come get your bases loaded beer hats here.
Matt, what are you doing?
Well, with how well the baseball team's doing, I thought I'd make sure that the fans know where they can get those famous yellow hats.
Not only do we have the beer hats, but we also have the team hats and jerseys to match.
So I guess you could say when it comes to Razorback baseball, we have all the bases covered.
You really hit it out of the park with that one.
Yeah, a real grand slam of a pun.
Definitely not a strikeout.
Anyway, Hog fans, if you're looking for something with a hog on it, come by the Stadium Shop on Razorback at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville.
That's right. Or you can go to their websites,
Dad, I think what you mean to say is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
And whether it's a shirt, pool table, or anything in between, come by the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
The Stadium Shop is the only family, alumni, and locally owned Razorback store in the country.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
It's Arkansas Game Day. The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off, or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV with hands-free driving assistance and go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $900 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Old Ford Days action begins Memorial Day, and the Old Ford Days official merchandise is ready for you at Jelco Outdoors. Ball caps, t-shirts, koozies, drinkware, and more. Check out the selection of cowboy hats, boots, shirts, and belts. Hot buys on Ariat and Wrangler jeans. Buy 2 pair and get a 3rd pair free, plus a free Old Ford Days rodeo cap with purchase. Go to the Old Ford Days Rodeo in style. Check out the Old Ford Days official merchandise at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with extra rebates for a limited time. Kofer's features low pontoons and fishing boats, Malibu and Actus wake surf boats, Caymas bass boats, and Kofer's has recently added the luxury line of Harris pontoons. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all of your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service is second to none. Plus, they have the best boat storage option in town. Find them online at Copers.com. That's COPATRS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What'd you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's Arkansas Game Day on ESPN Arkansas, brought to you by Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley, Our Best Bank, and by the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Head over the video board and swimming with the fishes.
This is great. This is the best thing we're going to do today.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
All right, final segment here of Arkansas Game Day, live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback, 989 Razorback Road, where you can buy one and get one half off regular price clothing item, including jerseys and hats. Before we talk to friend Neil Atkinson and Bet Saracen, Big C, I got some good news. You ready?
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
All right. Joey Clampett, our buddy at Clampett's Country Kitchen and Meat Market,
I like where this is going.
has brought us a smorgasbord of turkey, including the Gigawatt beef jerky. It's very hot. The jalapeno beef jerky. I'm seeing beef and cheese sticks. He has loaded us up. So
Mouth is watering right now.
you, me, Colton, Tommy, the rest of the team, we're gonna make sure we hop on some of that a little, indulge a little bit later on. All right, let's talk some money. We're about 45 minutes away from first pitch. Our buddy Neil Atkinson now joins us. Again, Bet Saracen. Neil, how much activity we seen last 24 to 48 hours when it comes to this Arkansas regional matchup against North Dakota State?
Well, I'm watching the bet ticker right now, and it's just all Arkansas, and believe it or not, I'm seeing a lot of Arkansas Little Rock bets peppered in.
Come on, Trojans, beat those Tigers.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be mad if that happens, but yeah, and we're paying out right now. I think 11 to 1. On that game, if they take the money line on it, they could snap it off, and that's one bet I will not mind paying out, to be honest with you. But yeah, watching this bet ticker right now, and with the last bets coming in, I mean, I just went and looked at the stats. It is the number one most bet game that we have today, Arkansas versus North Dakota State, and if Arkansas wins and they cover, 98% of the money is on Arkansas. I'll just go ahead and leave it out there. So we got a little bit of a liability, but anytime Arkansas plays, that's going to happen in this state. But it's always good for the book because it gets people on there. And
Christian, what you're saying is there's value in North Dakota State if you want to try and win some.
Well, there is, and I won't mind taking bets on them with the amount of liability. But Arkansas does that. So I mean, if we lose, we lose. If we win, well, that's be honest with you, we don't want to lose a game like that. We want them going to the regionals next week, and then we want them going to the World Series. Yeah, we may take it on the chin, but that just gets people on the app and get them betting more. So. And people bet more when Arkansas is on a winning streak. It's just a fact, and it's just the nature of our state, and it's not unusual that people back the local teams.
Neil, what about tomorrow night in Indianapolis, Indiana? Currently, right now, I think the Pacers are a 3.5-point favorite against the New York Knicks. We've seen a lot of activity between the Eastern Conference Game 6 tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, the way it does with, because there's so much going on right now with the baseball, regular baseball, and all of that. Most of that money in the position where everybody's going to go probably is not going to happen in tomorrow. People are going to saving up their money today to bet all of these baseball games and doing all of their parlays. We'll see the market moves once the bets settle tonight for today's games, and we'll see where everybody's going. But people are backing are the Pacers a little bit more. Last night, we had more money on the Pacers than on New York, but of course, New York did pull it out. So, but they returned to Indiana, and we've got Indiana at -3.5 and the over and under at 219. I'm going to be nervous, whoever is going to be playing the Oklahoma City Thunder, because I've got a feeling, just looking at what we saw earlier in the playoffs, that Oklahoma City is the big team that people are betting, and why not? I mean, you've got Arkansas players on there that they follow, and it's since we don't have a pro team in the state, that's really, other than the Memphis Grizzlies, who basically were swept in their first round of the playoffs. That's where everybody just jumped onto.
I wonder how many people had Florida losing right now. 10-2.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught that score, but they're getting shelled right now. And listen, Eastern Carolina is a really good ball club, Neil, but I don't know if I saw that coming when it comes to Florida at least being the betting favorite in that one.
Yeah, right now it's the top of the 6, and if you look at the live line, I mean, the Florida Gators are plus 2,500 on the money line. Any other time you saw Florida Gators playing Eastern Carolina in baseball, you think you'd never see plus 2,500. So, and the run line is 9.5. So, anything can happen in postseason baseball, and that's the magical thing about these tournaments. You get these mid majors that come in there; they have nothing to lose. They're going to pitch their best pitchers, and some of these teams that don't have the advantage now that we're in NIL, some of these teams in the mid majors have players that have been together for several years, and we all know what that does for a baseball team. So, it's just an incredible dynamic, and I'm glad that we've got, the playoff situations that we have in college baseball, and maybe they'll keep tinkering around with the college football one, and I think the seeding's going to be better this year, and I'm actually looking forward to them hopefully going to a 16-team playoff. But talking about football already, it's hard not to talk about it because we're getting ready for it right now, both on the technological side, both on the data vendor side. And it just never stops anymore with sports betting with all we got going on.
Let me ask you about that. So, Arkansas Ole Miss named a 6 or 6:45. Does the betting line waver at all? SEC on the road from if it was 11 a.m. to hey, it's a night you have to go on the road and beat this team at night. Does that factor into y'all setting the line here later on in a few months?
Yeah, when they put the early lines out, we now all use these computer logarithms and they put out the consensus, and then whoever gets the line out first, everybody kind of falls in the line, and then the money will move it. But when they at first set the initial line, and we're going to try to do it a little bit more regionally this year, it is different. I mean, different stadiums have different home fields. Some teams play better. Like LSU at night is going to be different. They're going to get a couple of extra points than LSU playing at 11 o'clock as the SEC Plus game. Yeah. So it's just the SEC and the stadiums and the caliber of the fans and the environments that they're in, it is really, really big. And it is a factor, but it's not as big as a factor as what you think. Again, once we put out that line, it's the money and the players and where they're putting their money is going to be moving those lines. But I'm excited to see what a lot of these will come out later on. And I'm sure we'll have the way too early lines out here in the next month or so.
Well, I can't wait to see him. Neil Atkinson, Bet Saracen. Neil, before we let you go, I know a lot of people know about Bet Saracen. I would guess that 90+% of our audience, but easy to download and always got Arkansas-related events on the Bet Saracen app.
Yeah, that's one thing that we pride ourselves with. And when we were in Fort Lauderdale 2 weeks ago, we had 9 different data companies in front of us, some of them that we're currently using and a lot of the new ones. And what was different about when we were setting up the sportsbook is that they are banging on our door, knocking on our door, wanting to get market access into the state. And we've got some of them because we had a lot of gaps in live coverage in baseball. I mean, we had, Arkansas versus LSU games that were not covered live this year because they didn't have a scout or didn't have the technology. So we want to go make sure we go into next year and that we have every football game, every baseball game, and every basketball game. Basketball was always pretty good covered in the content, and the players are demanding it, and we're going to have a lot better props and a lot more configuration. So we're excited for the football season, basketball season that's coming up. Just go to the site and download it. Right now, if you're a new customer, and we've got 57% of the online business according to state numbers last month. If you don't have Bet Saracen, download it. Use that code WELCOME when you register. You make a $25 bet. As soon as that thing settles, we're going to give you $125 more in free play that you can use, no strings attached. And if you're current customers, always hit that promo tab, opt in. That Parlay Bonus Club has been exciting, and people really take advantage of that too.
Let's go. Neil Atkinson, Bet Saracen. The Fayetteville Regional coverage begins next. Phil Elson, Bubba Carpenter, and the Learfield pregame.
He sits on the breaking ball and drills it to left field.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day, sponsored by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley,
and by
Our Best Bank.
Hey, Ty Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials.
We do have awesome lunch specials. Monday through Friday, we've got any small pizza for $7.99. You can also order a salad with it. Great in-and-out special for a quick lunch.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's